All right, Aquarius, we're going to use a new deck called the Tarot of the Light and Shadow. Right now I'm just trying to get a hint from the Oracle cards about what this reading could be about. Liberation. So we're using an oracle deck right now called the Modern Nirvana Oracle. And this card has a very specific meaning in this deck. It is to actually step away from the usual, from what you usually do, move away from what's familiar. But the reason why you do this is to tap into the knowledge that you were born with. It creates a sense of enlightenment, but you're tapping into your real wisdom. Okay, so the idea here is the truth can always be, you're born with this truth. And when you do this, obviously, one can imagine there's an incredible sense of freedom here. You're not reliant, on somebody else to tell you what's true or what's real. You just have a sense, an inner, knowing. Let's see if we can get one more card. Yeah, we certainly can. Wow. All right. Kindness. Now look at the heart. And I believe the reason why she's wearing that veil is because her crown chakra is very open. So she's protecting, she's very selective about what she's allowing. She only wants to download information from the loving spirits, the higher realm. All right, so we've got the idea here, the veil over her head is indicative of her ability to, her sensitivity to communicating with spirit. We have a heart here and the word kindness. Now, I cannot resist quoting from Corinthians 1, the heart of God is kindness. Even in Proverbs, we have a connection between, the importance of binding kindness and truth together. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the tablet of thy heart. What it suggests is that kindness and truth should be written on the heart and worn around the neck. But the idea is that truth and kindness are really the same thing. It's very hard to explain this, except I remember once seeing a dog. It was, in fact, a videotape of a dog that was in a panic because a fish had wriggled its way out of a bucket of water, and the dog was desperately trying to put water on the fish. It was splashing water with its paw onto the fish because it somehow knew that the fish was in need of water. So, in other words, the instinct of the dog just knew what to do. That's truth, knowing exactly what the right thing. Notice how truth is inextricably linked there to kindness. So I think the idea here is when you're truly downloading from spirit, the truth, which I believe is, believe it or not, the heart there, because that's where you find the truth, is inextricably linked. It equates to kindness. Okay. Now, bottom of the deck, we have protection. So, and there's an idea here. Do you see that sort of little dome around the head? And the idea there is regarding your personal space and what you're allowing into your mind. You want to protect your crown chakra. In other words, you want to clear that space. You want to have a connection with God always, and you want to literally cherish it and protect it. All right. Now, we're going to use a new deck, by the way. This is called the Tarot of the Light and Shadow. The meanings in this deck are quite different from the regular deck. So I'm not sure what we're going to ask here, but I'm going to start out with, what would Spirit like Aquarius? What would Spirit like you to know? What would Spirit like Aquarius to know? I'm just going to open it right here. Wow. All right. So we've got Strength and the Princess of Cups. Now, in this deck, the Princess of Cups has a very specific meaning, and it's very unlike the regular deck. Now, what you want to notice in this card is that she's in fact clasping a lotus, a sacred lotus. There's actually a sea turtle coming out of her cup. But that lotus represents the holy origins of all life. She's supposed to be encompassing the qualities here of the sea turtle, the lotus, and the dolphin. So it's very much unlike any card that's in the regular deck. The idea here is the origin of all of these creatures. I'm not gonna go a whole lot further than that on this card right now. The Strength card in this deck, notice how, as in the ancient Tarot de Marseille deck, the Strength card and Justice card have swapped positions. So the Strength card here is very much associated with justice. It's a very, very complementary card if this is you. This is somebody who encompasses conviction and moral force. They are you cannot get this person you cannot convince them to do something that is not in alignment with Spirit. Impossible. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Show me a little bit more, please. What would you like Aquarius to know, please, Spirit? Would you like Aquarius to know? Definite split coming out. Oh, yeah, somebody's intimidated by you, I think, here. All right, just a minute now. So I do believe that's you over here. Now, we've got a character coming up over here in the Nine of Wands. Now, this is a masculine energy here, and that's a feminine energy. This person is boldly moving forward. You can notice, if you look at the cards, you notice that this person is definitely looking very focused on this person who is not noticing that person. Show me a little bit more, please. I'm not sure how I feel about the character in the Nine of Wands yet, but we'll find out. Oh, somebody is feeling very, very emotional here. Uno momento. So somebody is very sad. This person may be worried about the future. Maybe they're feeling like they've encountered a setback. Currently, they're sad. They're hoping that all is not lost. Let's keep going. Maybe they're upset about how they behaved. What is this person? Why is this person in the Five of Cups, please? Why is this person in the Five of Cups? Okay, now have a look at what we've got here. Okay, so I feel like they wanted to be in the Ten of Cups with you. There's a 4 up there. I'm going to find out what's peeking up there. 4 of Swords. Okay, just a moment now. So they could be, okay, so I feel like this 10 of Cups energy here is their feelings for you. Now, we've got them feeling sad, either sad, regretful, worried, and distressed. And we've got to find out what is in the 4 of Swords. This could be something that's concealed or something that went silent, something that lay dormant, something that you did not see, or something that was concealed. Just a moment. All right, we're going to have to find out what the 4 of Swords is. I mean, in this deck, it's almost like someone is called a truce. It's a pause. There's been some kind of opposition. Let's just keep going. What is this 5 of Cups energy? It's repeatedly coming out. What is the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Cups? What is the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Cups? Here we go. Okay. The 8 of Swords and the King of Wands. So I believe that what this is, because that is the Lord of Shortened Force. It's where somebody, I can see why that card Liberation came up. Somebody was unable to see the whole picture here. They were allowing this logic, somebody's been blindfolded here, to interfere. It created restrictions, something that some mental thought here was blinding them, was causing restrictions, causing distress, confusion, tension, difficulties, setbacks. What's interesting is in this deck, this kind of thinking, it's related to hindrance, obstacles, being captive, literally being in a state of bondage, being obliged to turn inward to find new resources to free oneself. Now, isn't that interesting? Because we had that card of Liberation coming up. So, and I feel that this King of Wands energy here, I think that's the person who is in the 9 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. Yeah, in this deck, the King of Wands can be rather impulsive. The King of Wands, is associated with sort of someone who's a little bit, they're volatile. You don't know what they're going to do from one moment to the other. They want to win. They could be forceful. They're usually successful, but this person, whatever was their familiar ways of winning did not work here. Okay, show me more. How did this person, or how will this person, what are we allowed to know about this King of Wands? They need to get out of that 8 of Swords. Are we allowed to know about this King of Wands? Okay. Well, they're restricted. They're restrictions. In comparison to you, there's something that they cannot see here. It has something to do with that lotus. By the way, notice how the lotus is over her head. Just like the crown chakra, the origins of life. There's something as well about that dolphin. In this deck, it is highlighted that they are considered to be ancient creatures of extraordinary intelligence. I want you to look at the lines. I want you to look at something here. So here you've got distances that are short, medium, long. Now, as you come up, you've got a completely different picture. It's like down here you can't see, you can only see 2 dimensions. And when the dolphin, when it springs out of the water, obviously everything is looking different. Let's just keep going here. With the same thing going on over here, and this is, again, it's called the Lord of Shortened Force. It's where thought, it's a bad use of thought. Thought, is you're unable to complete thoughts in the 8 of Swords, state of confusion. Show me more. This will come together, don't worry. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, just a moment now. All right, something cannot be denied here. What I'm seeing here is a tesseract, and I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So, by the way, I think that your version of the tesseract is much more accurate. Do you see that? Your version of do you see all these? Do you see the triangles within the triangles? Now, I think what this is simply saying is that you're operating in the 4th dimension. You're above so the way that things look, the way that you look to this person, or the way that you may have appeared to this person, is not the way that you actually were. And it's because they were operating I feel like, in a lower dimension. Let me explain here for a moment. So if you think of each dimension as being a direction, okay? And as you go up in dimensions, all you're doing is you're adding a brand new direction. But the direction that you're adding must be exactly 90 degrees. So it has to be perpendicular to all existing directions. Let me give you an example. So for one-dimensional, for the first dimension, all we have is a reference point. So people who are operating in the first dimension, they can only see in one direction, and they're operating from this reference point, and they can only see in this direction, and they cannot pick up height or width or depth. They're going to have a very limited perception. Okay. Now, if we go into the second dimension, what we need to do is from this reference point, there's you, we're going to add another direction that is exactly 90 degrees from all existing directions. Well, that's easy to do. Let's just add this. So now we're in the two-dimensional realm. So if this is you, you can see in this direction, okay? So you could call that length, and you can see in this direction. You could call that width. It doesn't matter. It's just that all you can see is, you can see something, that it's flat. All right. So think of a flatfish. If a flatfish is operating in this realm, the flatfish is only going to be able to see a very limited view of us. So we would look very weird to a flatfish. Okay. Now, let's go into our dimension, which is the 3D. How can we add another direction that is exactly 90 degrees perpendicular to the existing directions? It's going to have to be height. See what I mean? So if we add this realm, put our little dot up here, now we've got the 3D. And this new direction, this new dimension that we've added is exactly perpendicular to the other directions. So now we can see, depth. So we can see, for example, we can see height, width. We can see things that, we can see, and this is the reality that we're in right now. So from our viewpoint, we can see length, width, and height. Now, but there's only one, we're still here from this reference point. This is us, okay? Now, how do we add? Let's for just a moment look at one of the limits of the 3D. If I were here and you were here and there was a wall between us, in the 3D, I could not see you because there's a wall between us. But clearly you and I both know that you're there and I'm there. So there are limits to this 3D. Now, how do we add? This is what you've done here. How do we add another dimension that is exactly 90 degrees perpendicular to all other directions? Well, the idea here is we're going to have to get rid of the reference point. We're going to have to move away. So in other words, in the 4D, there is no reference point. We're everywhere. We can see all angles of everything. So in the 4D, we already know somehow, because there's no reference point, we're not stuck in one place. Somehow that wall doesn't matter. Okay, because we're able to see all angles of what's going on here. Our reference point is not fixed. It's just so the reason why it turns into that tesseract is because to add a dimension to this cube, to add a dimension that is exactly 90 degrees perpendicular to all of these directions, if you could imagine the very, very center of that box, and it's like you're superimposing another box. Somehow, we can't imagine how this looks, but somehow it looks something like this. It's unusual to us. If we were looking from the 3D at something in the 4D, it would look very, very strange. It would look like a shapeshifter. Just as we, in the 3D, look like a shapeshifter to a flatfish. Okay? Now, what's my point? Oh, one more thing. See these lines? In the first dimension, all that can be noticed is length. That's it. Can't see shapes because we can't see. And I've just noticed these lines. So your person, I think, problem is your person, you looked weird to them. You looked like a shapeshifter because they were operating in a lower dimension. So you looked really weird. You looked like a shapeshifter, and when really you weren't. You were just hanging out with the dolphins, the incredibly intelligent creatures. Yeah, look at this. Wow, okay. Now, this is a really incredible card. The Princess of Wands in this deck, okay? Yeah, I think you really intimidated this person. The Fire Princess tends the eternal flame of heart and soul. She exudes conviction and self-reliance. She draws her powers from the same source as the beautiful great cat. Like the tiger, she is sleek, graceful, strong, and when necessary, fierce. So I think, the idea here is that this is, the ability, the ascension allows you, even though your size is small, it allows you to have, encompass this powerful force. So it may have been very intimidating to anyone who was around you. Yeah, and here we go. So somebody delved into the Five of Swords here. Oh, Lord. Actually, yeah, what's interesting here is, in this deck, the mind, somebody is trying to fight locusts with thought. That cannot be done. There's a quote here: dulled by cutting this path, ill-armed and afraid of any other, one cannot rid the mind of its pestilence. So, swords are of no avail against this adversary. So, wow. So we've got Venus in Aquarius here. There was some kind of, I think you experienced some kind of debacle. I think that you got through this with faith. I'm not sure what kind of trouble this person caused you. But this was something that you simply survived here. Show me more, please. Oh my goodness. Wow. Now we're back to this Ten of Cups with the Five of Swords. Wow. What's going on in the Ten of Cups, please? Because that's supposed to be an incredibly beautiful card. What is going on in the Ten of Cups? Ah, the Seven of Swords. All right. Okay. So somebody did something very foolish here. What happened to the person in the Seven of Swords? It's like they're running forward but looking back, and somehow what happens, what's going on with the person in the Seven of Swords? Okay. All right. It's the person in the Nine of Wands. Okay. All right. So this person was determined. We're back to this person who was doing something. They were stubborn. They were very determined to do something their own way. Show me a little bit more. Oh, okay. Well, there are obviously the Two of Swords. There was something that they could not see, or something that they refused to see. And I feel like what's happening now is this person is pausing. They're trying to regain their composure here. So there could be some kind of a truce here or some kind of a stalemate between you and this person. This could be you protecting yourself against this person, but something came to a pause here. Show me more. Yeah, I believe that you, somehow, your ability to stand by your beliefs and your moral, how certain you are about what is right and what is wrong, you may have sort of tame the beast or something. You may have, this could be an ultimatum. You may have said something until you realize such and such, no, stay away. Or this could simply be that you will not allow your mind to be, agitated. You want to remain calm. You have inner vision. This person may, here we go. 4 of Swords in the Strength card. Well, I believe that whatever you've done, you're causing this person to ascend spiritually. This is an expansion of the mind. Somebody is praying. Somebody is pausing. You've managed to get this person to calm their mind and to expand their mind spiritually. Rest from conflict, balancing of contending forces, finding peace and rest from the contest of opposing interests. Swords laid down, a sanctuary where conflict can be resolved. Notice that it's a number 4, and we were talking about the 4th dimension, and it does look like there's depth here, height, depth, length, width. All right, so what else does Aquarius need to know here? What does Aquarius need to know here? Yeah, just a minute now. There's, wow, the 3 of Swords. Yes. So I think what was going on here, all right? So this 10 of Cups, I believe, is where you and this person were meant to be. This 3 of Swords was the misalignment, I believe, and that's you being very strong over there. Just going to double check if there's the heart and the mind. So we've got Saturn and Libra. Yeah, what this card speaks of in this deck is what happens if somebody does not allow emotions to flow, cleansing. What this is somebody who restricts, so they compound grief and gloom. They allow grief and gloom to reinforce each other, and that creates some kind of self-inflicted, misery. The idea is crying, letting the tears out. That is a cleansing. It's like rain. It leaves a freshness and the possibility for a new start. Yeah, look at this Princess of Pentacles there. Look at the slingshot. You're trying to send some kind of a message to this person. So it's possible that part of what this person was doing was restricting their heart, not allowing, it could have been wounds from some previous situation, but it was restricting them from being able to go into the 10 of Cups with you. Yeah, there's a fresh start here. Look at the King of Cups. Yeah. So the King of Wands has now become the King of Cups. Wow. Wow. There's something here about cycles and seasons. In this card, in this deck, the Princess of Pentacles, she is very clear-headed, okay? But she's deeply attached to the cycles of the seasons. Now, so is the King of Cups. In this deck, the King of Cups, so he holds a crab, symbol of the element, and the chalice of his suit. In this cup, pour the waters of heaven, an indication of the king's jurisdiction over the seasons of wet and dry, planting and harvest. Ancient kings, like Gilgamesh, for example, knew that to protect their people, they had to study the seasons and the times. So it may be that, as you can see, the overall message here could be, when you're aligned, heart and mind and soul, with spirit, you're also very much aligned with the earth, with, Gaia. We've been talking about that a lot lately. Something just seems to come together here. Oh boy. Show me more, please. Okay, there's something way over here. Yeah, I just think that there is a brand new start coming here. A brand new start. We've got the Strength card, the Princess of Pentacles. There's some message coming your way, some kind of a building block, some kind of a fresh start. Yeah. Now, look at you slingshotting toward this person in the Nine of Wands. Could be that you taught this person, you might have said something that taught this person a lesson. You certainly did. What did Aquarius say here? Okay, now, this is really something. The Queen of Cups is sovereign of human emotions and deepest psychological truths. When personified, the Queen of Cups announces a woman in love or a woman who protects and promotes the happiness of others. She has recourse to deep resources of emotional understanding and is sensitive to the feelings of others. It's water of water mother, lotus throned among gleeful fishes, dreams full of inspired imagination. She rises from the surrounding waters of the lotus throne. The lotus is the place of creation, the fount of life. So I think what's happening here is you're just very deeply connected to love, and you're certain about it. You're not embarrassed about it. And you may have, in fact, been very open about your feelings here, or you may have shown this person unconditional love. Wow. Look at you. Yes, you did. The Queen of Cups and the Fool. And in doing so, boy, did you ever lead the way. Wow. I haven't seen the Fool yet in this deck. Amazing. The Fool will ultimately triumph, even if he stumbles into terrible difficulties, because his fearless innocence and his love of life and beauty will see him through. And here's where the name of the deck comes from. The quote for the Fool in this card: I? Who am I? All of these who follow combined light and shadow evolving. Mind that though I am everything, I am nothing. There's great wisdom in that. The Fool represents a deep, primordial aspect of the human soul, the innocent personality before the invention of cruelty and war. The mind of the Fool abides in paradise, in divine optimism. His innocence makes him close to the Godhead. Amazing. So Aquarius, take from that what you will. I believe that the message here is open-mindedness, having an open heart, ascension, connecting to your inner wisdom, and not feeling like you're a fool to be unconditionally loving. Okay, that one is kind of wanting to come out. Safety. In the hurricane of life, a strong foundation will keep you safe. And your foundation is your connection to God. That it's not a physical foundation. Oops, what's this? It just flew out. Foundation. Foundation is what the castle of your soul is built upon. It's not physical. Yeah. Confident solar plexus. No one will believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Be your own cheerleader. And at the bottom of the deck, we have destiny. Follow your instincts. They lead to the truth. Third eye chakra. What a beautiful reading. I know that was a little general, but I have a feeling that it will click with all of you in some way. Guys, I love you so much. Thanks for watching.